Train Lover 1974 presents The Ghost. It was near Halloween on the island of Sodor, and all the engines were getting ready for the annual telling of ghost stories. The engines were really excited. They loved this time of year. However, there was one engine that was not feeling as festive as the other engines. That being Gordon. Gordon hadn't felt the same about Halloween since 2 years ago, when he saw that ghost engine. But the thing was, he felt like it seemed familiar, but he couldn't put his buffers on it. That night, Gordon was at Knapford with the Midnight Express, but he still couldn't get his mind off about what happened. Yes, it had happened 2 years ago, but still the events were very fresh in his mind. That's when Edward pulled up. He was preparing his own train for the midnight run. "Hello there, Gordon. How are you doing?" "I'm fine, Edward. What's the matter?" "It's just... something happened about 2 years ago, yet it's still playing on my mind." "You saw the ghost of old number 0, didn't you?" "What? How did you know?" "I had a feeling. Ever since last year, I've noticed that you've been quite hesitant about Halloween, especially at last year's party. You barely even talked to anyone, you just stayed silent." "I just can't put my buffers on it about why he appeared. Why did he appear to me?" Maybe we ought to have a talk with this ghost." "Shh. Sorry, you better be off." "Right. I'll see you in the morning." "See you in the morning, Gordon." Gordon then thundered off with the express. And about an hour later, Edward then set off with his train. As Gordon thundered down the line, he kept thinking about how Edward knew about the ghost. Like, yeah, Edward was the one that mentioned it, but he still couldn't think about it. Gordon was shocked to see some trucks on the line. And, "James? What are you doing all the way out here?" "I'm waiting for my steam pressure to build up. I've been having steam leaking from my cylinders, and now I'm just waiting. Once I build up enough steam, I'll be able to take these trucks the rest of the way and then get back to the sheds." "Alright then. I'll be back on my return run. Maybe I could help you." "Wait. Alright, James, you're good to go." "Never mind, Gordon. Good luck out there. Beware of the ghost." Ghost, indeed. Pah! There's no such thing. Gordon was soon picking up speed and was now thundering down the line. Then, up ahead, Gordon then saw something on the line. "Driver, brakes!" His driver then slammed on the brakes. What on earth are you doing on the main line, tank engine? You could have caused an accident." The tank engine didn't say a word. It remained respectfully silent. "Alright, if you don't move, You remember me, don't you, Gordon? From 2 years ago?" "What? No. No. This can't be possible. You are all painted black. How are you?" "This is my true form, Gordon. And I'm not number 0. My name is Timothy." "Edward, how did you..." "I had a feeling this would happen." "Alright, what are you doing here, Timothy? And why did you appear 2 years ago?" "I just simply came by to say hi." "Okay, I'm calling bull on that. What are you really here for?" "Oh, yes. I came here as to thank you, Edward. Thank me for what? For always keeping my memory alive, and for always trying to help me back in the day. I will admit I was a careless tank engine in my days, but I appreciate you always having my back. It it was no problem, Timothy. Now please, move on. What happened to you was in the past, and you should be able to move on by this point. You're right. And Gordon, I'm sorry for scaring you 2 years ago. It was just for a laugh, too. Yeah, a laugh, and yet you scared me half to death. You didn't even realize if I was a ghost until you got back to the sheds. Okay, fair. Goodbye, you two. And thank you two for everything. At least he'll finally be able to move on. Who was that? Well, for one, as I said, that's Timothy. He was a tank engine that used to work on this railway many, many years ago. But he got into a terrible accident. Well, how? That's a story for another day, Gordon. A story for another day indeed. Now, come on. You have an express to take, and I'm going back to the sheds. Beware, Gordon. I will. Later on that night, Gordon had returned to Knapford Station after taking his express. He just wanted to sit at the station for a while. Then... Hello, Gordon. Oh! Edward, don't scare me like that! I'm sorry. But you said you wanted to know about what happened to Timothy. Yes, but you said that was a story for another day. Well, there's no point in keeping it a secret. You deserve to know the truth. This all took place back in the early days of the Northwestern Railway. It was back when it was just me and Thomas on the railway. Thomas handled the goods while I handled passengers. Now, I was able to handle express just fine, but it was mainly when it came to the commuter trains that was the problem. And since I didn't have time to handle them both, so we began being overworked. Till eventually he then bought a silver tank engine. Engines, I am here to announce our newest engine. His name is Timothy. He will be our new passenger engine. Wow, another E2 like me. That's incredible. Indeed it is. Welcome to Sodor, Timothy. Thank you very much. But little did we know, his visit would be very, very eventful. I tried to teach him how to operate with coaches, but he often didn't care and handled them very roughly. He acted like as if he was an express engine. Thomas even tried to teach him some sense, but he never listened. It was late one night. Timothy had to take a very important passenger train to the other railway. I, meanwhile, was shunting an important goods train to be taken to the viaduct, as the viaduct was being still built around that time. I tried to warn Timothy to be careful, but he didn't take any notice. When the guard's whistle blew, he set off into the night. I had a dark feeling that this would be the last time I would see Timothy in one piece. Timothy rocketed down the line from what some people said, his wheels pounding the rails as trying to keep the time. But he had no idea he was switched down the wrong line, heading towards the unfinished viaduct. But he didn't even notice. He was too busy thinking about how important he was, carrying such important passengers, and would soon be considered basically ahead of the railway. He only noticed when he saw the edge of the bridge. Timothy slammed on his brakes with every ounce of steam he had, but it was too late. You mean he crashed right off the viaduct? There were unfortunately no survivors from the accident, The reason why some people were able to say that stuff because there were some witnesses from the sidelines. That's awful. So what you're saying, the ghost I saw 2 years ago, and the one we saw last night, was the ghost of Timothy? Indeed. I think it's best not to think about it too much. You'll never get an answer otherwise. But as some people say, we shouldn't question the supernatural. I'm off to the sheds. Come with me. Gordon didn't know what to think. He felt bad for Timothy, but he still didn't know what to make of it. To this day, Gordon never really questioned it too much, hoping that Timothy was able to find peace and move on. I hope so too. Don't you?